and let's get our grip. So typically speaking, a good starting grip for just about anybody is you're gonna take your thumb, you're gonna extend it out like you're hitchhiking, right? Grab the bar, and I want the tip of your thumb to start at the edge of the derrick. Extend it as far as you can, and then wrap your fingers over the bar. Okay, that's a good starting point as far as bench pressing goes. It's wider than your shoulders, but it's not inside to where it's a close grip. Now, before we start here, before we unrack the bar, I want you to take your arms, I want you to put them straight over your chest. Okay, so we're gonna imagine that this is your grip. When you're bench pressing, some things that you wanna keep in mind is that you want a straight wrist. The reason you want a straight wrist is because you're trying to accelerate from the chest to full arm length as fast as you can, as if you're throwing a punch. We wouldn't throw a punch like this because that's just silly and might break your wrist. Well, the same concept applies to bench pressing. If you try to bench press with a bent wrist and the weight's back here, you're gonna have a tendency to kind of throw it over your face. And most people like the way their teeth look and the rest of their face, so let's keep those wrists straight. Right? So easy way to do that is squeeze the bar. You can't squeeze the bar if your knuckles are rolled backwards. If you don't believe me, put your finger inside your hand, try to squeeze it really tight. You're not gonna be able to. So you gotta squeeze those knuckles forward. All right, so now here, with our arms extended, what we wanna do is we wanna touch below our nipple line. Most people know what their nipple line is. It's generally the center of their chest. Here, we wanna touch a little bit lower, kind of in between our nipple line and our top abdominal muscle, okay? Some people call it their solar plexus or the xiphoid process. It's gonna be about right here on Paulo. Now, in order to do that, you don't wanna think, bring the bar down. You wanna think, bring my elbows down, because we want our forearm to stay perpendicular to the ground, right? If you don't know what perpendicular means, it means make a T, okay? So what I want Paulo to do is think, he's gonna bring the bar down, but at the same time, he's dropping his elbows to the ground. He's gonna pull his elbows to the ground. Now, by pulling his elbows to the ground, he's also gonna keep them at a kind of an angle. Most people, you'll see them bench press like a bodybuilder, they got this 90-degree thing going on. That puts a lot of stress on the shoulders. We want to stay away from that. So what we do is kind of bring them down a little bit. So as you're benching, if you think, bring my elbows to the ground, that's going to be more of a natural thing to happen. The elbows will stay in. Okay. Now, as we're down, bar's on his chest, I want you to think that you're trying to punch the ceiling with the bar in your hand. Punch the ceiling. You push back up in a straight line. You don't arc it to your face. You push from point B to point A in a straight line. Can't make it any more clear than that. If you push it in either direction, you're gonna have a tendency to drop the bar, either on the no-no parts or the part that everybody likes to look at, your face. In either case, we don't wanna do that. So let's get our grip, like we did before, thumb length. Remember, wrap our fingers over the bar. We're gonna squeeze really, really tight to keep that wrist straight. Now we're gonna unwrap it as if we're doing a tricep extension. Okay, so our elbows are forward. We're gonna do an extension with our triceps, unwrapping the bar. Notice the bar is now over his shoulders and his chest. I'm gonna use my finger as a reference point for Paulo so he knows where to touch. And Paulo's gonna bring his elbows to the ground, touching my finger. Notice his forearm is still perpendicular to the ground. His bicep, or his humeral bone, is angled at a 45 degree. Now he's gonna press in a straight motion, punching the ceiling. Notice his wrists are pretty straight because he's squeezing the bar. Rack it. Okay. Go ahead and sit up. Do me a favor, stand up and turn around. Some things you want to think about while you're bench pressing to protect our shoulders. I'm going to ask Paulo to squeeze my fingers with his shoulder blades. Go ahead and pinch your shoulders together. Okay, now I want to ask him to tuck his shoulder blade into his back pocket. If you notice, let's turn sideways. Paulo now has this curve in his back. What that does is it takes his shoulders as his arms are extended and it puts him into a more powerful position. He has more muscles underneath his shoulder supporting that shoulder girdle, okay? Which is gonna take the pressure off his shoulders. Now, as he bench presses, he's gonna think, pull his elbows to the ground and notice that angle of his arm. See that? His arm is still perpendicular and he's gonna punch forward. All right, now we're gonna apply it to the bench itself. So once he grabs his grip, the next thing he's gonna do, he's gonna pinch his shoulder blades. He's gonna try and tuck them into his back pocket. By doing that, he's gonna use his legs, drive his heels into the ground, and kind of push his body that way onto his shoulders. Notice how much of a curve he has here, look at that. See that? You can stick your hand underneath it. Now, same thing applies with unracking it. We're gonna do a tricep extension, unrack the bar. We're gonna squeeze really, really tight to keep those straight wrists. We're gonna bring the bar from an extended position down to that xiphoid process by bringing our elbows to the ground. Go ahead, drop your elbows. Nice. Now, punch the ceiling. Boom. One more time, xiphoid process, elbows down, punch the ceiling. Boom. Rock it. That's kind of benching on the fly, benching 101, pretty much the basics right there. One other thing that you want to add when you're benching, for the more advanced lifters, if you're having trouble engaging your lats, you want to think, grab the bar and try to bend it like an old school strongman, where you're just bending the bar into a U. You're going to grab the bar and you kind of want to torque your arms. That's going to help engage your lats and make you think, pull your elbows to the ground. You'll feel a lot of tension and it'll make it more explosive to come off your chest. And that's how you bench press.